Earth, an internet radio talk show where we help you connect spirit and divine guidance. Lisa Kay, your host, brings you shows that can enhance and transform your life with tips and new ideas for more happiness, abundance, and better relationships. Lisa is an expert on intuition and can show you how to strengthen your inner guidance to empower yourself. Each show is positive and uplifting to inspire your day. Her guest speakers are specialists on self-help, positive thinking, spirituality, and conscious living. Be the best that you can be with Between Heaven and Earth, Conscious Living for Your Soul.
And we are live on OMTimes Radio. And we're here today to do another show. We're here every week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. New York time. And I've been pretty busy in the last, the last 2 years. But most recently, we did a webinar on crystals, and it was really awesome because we had a nice group of people online and talked all about the power of crystals, the science behind them, and where they get their healing and metaphysical power. And it was fun. People really enjoyed it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that webinar. And if you're interested, how you might be able to join, if you're interested, on the replay. Our show today is called The Soul Whisperer. Words are powerful. They can touch your soul and change you forever. And as Kim says, change your words, change your life. Kim Conrad knows just the words that you can use to create affirmations and have life-changing effects. Philosopher-poet, visionary, brain injury survivor, and award-winning author, Kim opens minds and hearts with inspiring tools to reduce stress and make it through just about anything. In her multi-award-winning book, Vice Versa Verse, Kim takes you on a journey of revelation and humor to offer clarifying and helpful insights about courage, confidence, self-appreciation, inspiration, peace, contentment, love, and more. Kim is here today to share her transformative voice. So let me tell you a little bit about Kim before we bring her in. Kim Conrad is an award-winning author and contributing author to Chicken Soup for the Soul. Her artistic life's work is part of the Archives of Women in the Arts and the National Museum of Women in the Arts in Washington, D.C. She combines her master's in psychology, theatrical background, acute intuition, training as a Reiki master, along with her, quote, I have a powerful voice, expertise workshops, and wordsmithing to inspire freedom at every turn. So welcome, Kim. I'm so happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's so amazing. I think just to let everybody know, the way I met Kim was actually when we were both in Denver. She was exhibiting at the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo, and I was speaking there. And I just ran into her booth, and she and I had a talk. She has a wonderful set of products and services, and we got talking, and there was something about Kim that just drew me in, and I thought, gee, this lady is really cool, and I think you will too. So Kim, I'm so happy that you're here, and I wanted to share with everybody your story and what it is you do. So why don't we start a little bit about with words. Can you tell us why words are so powerful?
Oh, words. Words, I think words are a matrix of energy. They're an energetic pattern, if you will. And even words themselves, I'm sure we've all felt the results of words. In our own minds, spoken or written, they all have an effect. And everything in the world that you create, we create, came from an idea. And those ideas relate to those ideas. It shows up in the form of words most often. So words create our world. One thing that I say is I've got a neat little excerpt out called Words Create Our World. What are you sentencing yourself to today? I play a lot with words.
I like that.
That kind of really says it in a nutshell, I think. So words create our world. What
You're
do you sensing
sentencing
yourself to?
yourself today
Yeah.
to today.
Yeah.
Can you give us some examples of I don't know. I think what happens is we all talk and we use words to communicate, but I don't know that we're really thinking about the words that we use. We just, I guess if you thought about them too much, you wouldn't be able to speak. But we don't really think about the words we're using. Could you give us an example of some words, or why we should be more aware of the words that we're using?
Well, I think it's been shown that, our body chemistry changes. And it really maps to the words that we think and say and things that we expose ourselves to. So you can also pay attention. And I think a lot of us, when we're told to pay attention, we kind of constrict more. You could also play attention if you want. And that in
Mm,
itself would be an example. So you could play attention to what you pay attention to. You can end up having fun. It's really not about being hypersensitive. It's really more about just opting for awareness so that sometimes we get in the habit or we're conditioned or we grew up around or whatever to saying certain things that may not be match anymore to the results we want in our life. Um, the greater awareness you have with your words, the more accurately you can author your life, is one way I say it. You can write the story that you want to live in. Basically, we're writing our scripts by what we
mm,
think we
mhm.
say.
Yes, I think,
And
and I think it kind of comes back to how words affect us and how words affect other things and how it can transform sort of our our thoughts about ourselves. What's interesting, I was just thinking about, I guess you would call him Dr. Emoto, the
yes, I was
Japanese
going to actually talk
researcher
about
who
him today.
did
Yeah,
the work with the water crystals.
yes,
I guess basically he uh, also used words that he would say certain words, and then I assume he froze the water and then looked at the crystals, and the different words, positive words would seem to have a beautiful effect, create beautiful crystals, and then the negative words seem to distort or create crystals that weren't so good looking. So
yeah.
that was pretty fascinating and
There
amazing.
is a wonderful experiment that you can even Google online. If anybody wants to Google, his first name is spelled Masaru and his last name is Emoto. And you can Google and see pictures of the water crystals. There was also a rice experiment. He took rice kernels in 3 jars and then covered them with water. And for 30 days, he said the same words to each jar. So for the first jar, he really said with feeling to match his words. He said, "Thank you." And to the second jar, he said, "You're an idiot." To
Hmm.
the third jar, he completely ignored. The results after 30 days, the first jar that he said thank you to, there was a strong, pleasant aroma and it was fermenting. The second jar, where he said, "You're an idiot," it turned black.
Really?
Yeah, and the third jar actually began to rot. What he noticed was that the indifference did the greatest harm. And there's actually a video online that I found where he then relates this, especially not only talking to ourselves and each other, but especially to children and how we talk to children. And the one other important fact I think to know is that our adult bodies are at least 78% water. So if you choose to look at these pictures and really think about how you feel and change and how your body changes. I mean, if somebody's really putting us down, usually the body hunches over and it folds over on itself. And when we think words that we really align with, that we love, we stand straighter, we feel stronger. Um,
Mm.
so that his work with words and water is to know that our bodies are 78% ballpark
Oh,
water.
yeah, sure. And right. So the words and how they affect water and that we are mostly water. I mean, that kind of gives you an interesting linkage there scientifically. Yeah, I'm learning about words and how they affect people. One of the things that I had heard about was, here's some pairs of words and how they affect you sort of emotionally, which I thought was really interesting. Let's compare the word fish versus shark, right?
I think that's a great one.
So obviously that shark gives you a different feeling from the word fish. Another word pair would be attorney versus lawyer. I'm going to call my attorney. I'm going to call my lawyer. Right. So it seems that words really do have an effect on how we feel inside, and the words certainly. I found, the words you use that kind of go through your head, because we always sort of have the self-talk that's going through our head. So I think it sounds, like it's really important, the words that you use to think about and what it is that you're allowing yourself to think about yourself, and which kind of connects to affirmations.
Yeah. And just know that you're writing your life. I mean, we talk about chapters of our lives. We talk about in our book. I mean, we say words like this, well, in my book.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We write chapters. So,
and I love your book. Again, Kim's book is Vice Versa Verse, Inspiring Twists on How to View Your Life and Fill Your Soul. And that was one of the things that really attracted me to your work was your book, because I just picked up the book and randomly turned to some pages, and the words on them were really striking. They seem to shift you inside. And I want to get to your book. We're going to go to break right now, and about 5 seconds, and then we can come back with Kim, and maybe she'll read a little bit from her book and show you how you can use words to improve your life. We'll be right back.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Hailing Light, on OMTimes Radio, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Hailing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
And welcome back. I'm Lisa Kay, and you're listening to Between Heaven and Earth Radio. And we are on the OMTimes Radio Network here, live, and also on the archives, which you can get at OMTimes Radio. And we'll probably be expanding maybe to SoundCloud. That's one of the things I'd like to do, is get this out and reach a larger audience, and also so you can easily play the recordings back. We're also out on Facebook. So if you go to facebook.com/between heaven and earth, all one word, that's the official Facebook page for this radio show, the podcast. And if you're interested in, and you're listening to us live and you'd like to ask us or Kim a question, you can go to facebook.com/between heaven and earth and post it there. And just, post it in the announcement for this show. And I'm looking at it right now, and then we can answer your question. So I am talking to Kim Conrad, who is the soul whisperer. She is the expert on words that can transform your life, transform your soul, or connect to your soul, and really draw out in you a way to change your life through the words that you read, the words that you say to yourself. And Kim, what I wanted to do is, before we went to break, we talked a little bit about your book. Would you mind, say, reading one of the verses? These are great verses in your book. They're nice and short. I don't know, would you call it's not really poetry?
Well, I would say what's interesting is it's poetic format, but it's really, well, that's interesting. The words are wanting to come right now. Transformational code, if you will.
Oh, I like that. Transformational code. Write that down.
Code. Okay, you're right. We'll write it down. Because my book right now. So if you can write that down, that'd be great. Yeah. I have a gift with words. I played with them. I was talking in sentences before I was a year old. And a gift with my voice and the way that I speak them. In the book, which is really cool, actually has 16 audio tracks along with it. And if I can, it's really exciting. At kimconrad.com, there's now access to an ebook with all other recordings in it as well.
Absolutely. Why don't you share one with us and read one for us? Which one would you like to read?
Well, if I can, I'll do one little short one and then one other little one.
Okay.
One is, we all take pictures of the world and see things from our point of view. And this is called Live Beyond Your Photographs. Live beyond your photographs. Use the negatives to develop the positives. And I like that one a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Then for those of us, which I think we've all got a doctorate in life, the bumps in the road, there's one called It's Our Nature. And I've actually rebuilt my body and my life several times. So that comes from a deep place within me. So it's called It's Our Nature. It's our nature to bloom again after a hard winter. And very often, the harder the winter, the bigger the blooms. Do not be afraid to go into the depths of your challenges with love, confidence, and trust, and come out even bigger at the end.
Wow. I love that. It's something that you can think about, when you're going through a tough time, and we do that quite often. Could you tell us the story about how you discovered how our bodies and our minds are mapped to what we think and feel through its relationship to words? That was a lot of words there.
Well, I'll replay back, but I think, actually, could you do that one more time?
Yeah. I know you discovered that our bodies and our minds are connected to what we think. We all know that our minds and bodies are connected to what we think and feel, and what we think is words. Okay. So how did you discover that the words are affecting our minds and our bodies? And
I was talking in sentences before I was a year old, and I was very intuitive. There are stories of me even in nursery school. So I've had a gift of being able to see energy. I don't necessarily see color, but I feel and sense energy, and have a gift of the information in the field and bringing it into words, which is works and helps very well, and works very well with my clients in creating affirmations or rescripting and things like that. It's a funny story, and it has to do with after I had the head injury from a car accident. So I was much more sensitive to the energies of everything around me. If there was somebody that was really, a very forceful person, I couldn't actually stay in the room for a few years because I was so affected by their energy. and therefore even more affected by words and things like that. It was much more demonstrative, the effect. I was up at a hotel. The doors happened to face the outside. It was a bright summer day, and the leaves bright were had shadows on the stairs. Now I had some vision issues as well that have come a long way. So when I was walking up the stairs, which then you could see through the stairs, so visually there was what was in front of me and also what was you could see through the stairs. So visually it was quite challenging. And I was having troubles walking up the stairs because my vision was off and cognitive and all kinds of stuff, motor skills, everything else at the time. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do an experiment. I'm a lot more vulnerable right now. I'm going to do an experiment. So I'm at the level of the stairs that I'm currently at, and I thought I'm going to do the negative first and then end on a positive note. And I started swearing up a storm. I mean, I was cussing. I would have made the best swearer proud, you know. I was in every which way but loose and really feeling it.
Uh-huh.
And my vision began to get worse. My coordination began to get worse. You know, everything my body began to pull down. Yeah, I was much more of a demonstration more quickly because of my vulnerable state is what I can make of it. So then I paused and I breathed and I really shifted my way of being. And by that, I mean, I really felt more positive and I really began to grasp onto anything I could get my hands on to acknowledge myself and my body and my brain for. You know, you're doing great. You can really do this. Oh, that was really great. Good connection, whatever. And actually, my vision actually noticeably improved. My coordination actually began to get better. It became easier to walk up the stairs. So this for me was an extremely, you know, a significant demonstration. I mean, we can all relate to that in some way.
Sure.
But
So
because I was in a much more vulnerable place.
you felt it yourself. You experienced it.
Yeah, my vision actually was getting noticeably worse and then noticeably better. It was rather astounding.
Wow, and you could actually control that just by the words you were telling yourself. So that's
and feeling. Yeah,
saying
both.
and feeling. So so were you feeling consciously intending to feel your words, or did you just feel them because the words elicited a feeling?
There are three levels of knowing, or three ways to know. Maybe I get there's a fourth, you know, connection to all that be. There is in your brain, there's your mind, there's from your heart, and then there's felt sense, what's now called felt sense of your body. And when we have all three of those congruent, watch out, what becomes as the result of our words. So for me in that experiment to have the greatest impact, I was really living those words, seeing them really living in and through my body.
So was this an intention or it just happens? So
well, for me,
you intended to say them, feel them, you know, with your brain, your mind, and your heart and your body. How do you do that?
How the heck do you do that?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay, well, basically, if it's okay, we'll use you as an example.
Yeah, sure.
For where you want to head. I mean, it's evolution's in progress, right? And we're part of it. So we're all wanting to be somewhere in addition or do something in addition to where we are, you know, unless we're surviving by numbing ourselves out. Okay. So evolution is always part of life. So if you were to pick a word, and I'll give an example to help give a framework. For me, what was inspiring me was the word astounding, exceptional, extraordinary, and then it switched to something else. What one word right now would really be inspirational for you right now?
Progress.
Okay, cool. Now you say progress. So when you kind of think it, if you then really feel progress, if you really just it's funny to say think of feeling.
Mm.
But if you
Mm.
really feel, you can always tell. I'll use this example. Somebody goes, thank you. They just toss off thank you. They basically said thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If I say thank you to you and I'm feeling thank you, it sounds and registers differently than if I just say, oh, thank you. Yeah. Does
Oh,
it sound different?
yeah. No, I totally get it. Actually,
And then I embody it.
I did a
Now,
whole show on that about positive gratitude. And I was saying, just as you said, I use that example. You could say, oh, thank you. Or you could be very grateful, oh, thank you so much, thank you. And you feel it differently. And I think, the word for me, progress, is I always feel like I'm not going far enough. That it's like, gosh, everybody else is really moving along, and I want to do as well. But when I feel that I'm making progress, it makes me feel, when I think of making progress, it elicits feelings. Progress makes me feel good, because I am moving ahead, and that I'm accomplishing things that I want to accomplish, and that elicits feelings too. So I think, is that what you mean?
that's definitely a lot of it. And then in terms of feeling it in the body,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the feeling felt sense and sharing it can be more felt. And we'll see how this does on radio in a workshop setting. But
Right.
if I really embody thank you to you,
So would you recommend that we
that
sort
point
of
of
mantra these
question,
words?
that you what? I'm sorry.
That you basically, use that or say them, or if that's the word that it
Well,
inspires
you
you.
can use it as a guidepost, and you can also, because I'm hearing that you're using it as an assessment tool for you, the word progress. It's like
Yes.
you're using it as an assessment tool, and
Yeah, I
so
think so.
you may take some, just jot some notes down as to how you
All right. Well, we need to hold that
break
thought,
from.
because we're going to go to
Okay,
break again
okay,
before we get cut off.
that sounds great.
We're going to be right back with Kim Conrad and talk more about words.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
Matt Connerton here. Join Jen Coffey and I twice a week for Matt Connerton Unleashed, a political talk show that's a little different than what you're used to. No liberal or conservative agenda here, just an honest dialogue about truth and how things really work in the world of politics. Matt Connerton Unleashed, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
And welcome back. I'm Lisa Kay. You're listening to Between Heaven and Earth Radio. And we are here today talking to Kim Conrad, who's talking to us about the power of words. She is the soul whisperer. And I wanted to take a break. Usually we take a break at this point in our show just to let you know where you can connect with our guest. And if you're interested in their products and services, I can do that. So Kim can be reached at kimconrad.com. That's KIMCONRAD.com. She's also on Facebook at facebook.com/Kim Conrad Visionary, all one word. And her book is Vice Versa Verse, Inspiring Twists on How to View Your Life and Fill Your Soul. And it's a multi-award winning book. Again, the book is what drew me to her, as well as her lovely personality. And she's got wonderful wisdom. The book is just really, it's not a huge book, but the words in them are very, very powerful. So, Kim, where can people pick up the book? Amazon, Barnes & Noble?
At the best place right now, to make it simple as one portal where you can get everything, just go to kimconrad.com. And then actually, if you order it that way, then any physical softcover that you order, I will personally sign.
Oh, nice. Autograph copies.
Out to you. Yeah. So I can do that. And then at kimconrad.com, we've got all of the links to any national or international ebook provider that you would be working with, and know that the 16 audio tracks, it's basically me reciting or sharing, performing 16 of the verses from the book, the 16 different tracks of music, and that comes with both the softcover version and the ebook versions, and it's just been a great joy. I keep being told that, I don't know, actually my voice was even compared to Maya Angelou, which was like, oh my goodness.
Well, what's wonderful, I think it's almost like you could listen to the audio tracks, and it becomes, instead of you or me or the reader saying the affirmation, because they're like affirmations, they shift you. And so here you're hearing it, and it becomes a bit of a mantra for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, and each one is going to be different, and it's very interesting because if you've got the physical book, you can hold it and become one with the book, and open it to where you're drawn to, and you will end up with a message that fits. If for your audio
I love
book,
that. Yeah, the Oracle book.
Think of a page number. Yeah, it's kind of like that, very much so. And what I've been honored to have shared about my voice is that it's been called healing medicine. So that the place that I go, and there's some funny stuff, there's poignant stuff, there's, short, longer, there's all kinds of things, and said in a matrix, in a way in which realigns the energy field, I'm finding, so that people talk about, if you want to reduce stress, if you want to have more clarity, if you want to know you're going to be okay. I have people that keep it by
becomes
the bed.
The Oracle book. So you just open to wherever you're guided to, right?
Yeah.
I just was guided to this page, and I'm into angels, right? It says the angel, and I'm just going to read one sentence in here. I have also found an angel inside of me, one who lifts me up when I'm down and laughs with me when I'm up. Oh, that feels so good. It feels, I'm getting tingles all over. That's what I love about this. The book, you guys have to go out and get the book. It's a wonderful book. It's not very big, so it's great because, things that feel good in your hand, if you feel like if you got a big tome, then you're like, okay, I have to get through that all. But when you have something like this, that's, it's a good size. It's about 100 pages, and it just has a good feeling to it, and the words in there are gems. So I recommend everybody go get Kim's book. And Kim, do you have anything else that you wanted to announce?
If I do really have been gifted with having great results with clients. If you really would like to rewrite your life, become more aware of the words that you choose and how you're congruent or not with them. There are also different techniques. We can actually rewire your neurology to be in alignment with where you want to be now and go to. There's that. I am available for speaking. I'll be doing actually a workshop at the next, the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo in March here in Denver. But I'm neat. I will be actually, I've been asked to present at the Women's Economic Forum in India in May.
Oh, very
So,
nice.
so that's
Awesome.
very exciting. There's several of us going here from the Denver area.
That's
So
great. Where in
so
India?
in New Delhi.
Okay, so those of you out in New Delhi, Kim's
Oh yeah.
coming out there to see you. So come and see her.
Oh,
Go to
can
her
we?
website, connect with her. She'll give you more information if you're interested.
Yeah, I will put that up there as it's was being in the process of being confirmed right now. And once
Hmm.
all the ducks in a row, then I will post it
Oh,
uh,
that's great.
on
Yeah,
on.
so put it out there.
Yeah.
And we have we have listeners from all over the world, and I know I also have followers from. I looked at my stats the other day and looking at where people are connected with me, and it used to be just in New York and Connecticut and New Jersey where I am, but now it's all over the United States. It's all over. It's in Europe. It's in South America. I have a few in India, Australia. It's really amazing. So. So Kim is coming out to India if you're gonna be in New Delhi,
Well, and actually, in
and
terms of,
Denver.
oh, go ahead. Yes, Denver. It, if I may, speaking about India, most of us know Gandhi's phrase, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And I actually heard via his grandchildren, I hadn't spoken to them in person at this time, but I did hear that via his grandchildren that he was very careful with his words. And what
Oh,
he actually said was a little different.
really?
And what he said was, become the change you wish to
Yeah,
see in the
become
world.
become the change.
That is a very active thing.
Yes.
Be the change is basically you be, and I think it's more challenging as to how do you be. Um, but become the change you wish to see in the world. And I went, wow.
See, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I've got one thing that I wanted to share with everybody, my announcement, and I try to pick words as well. I'm very conscious of that, as I mentioned to everyone out there, and Kim in particular. Um, I just did a webinar yesterday, and it is called "How to Use the Power of Crystals." It was an online webinar, and actually you can now get it the recording if you want to learn about crystals. It's going to teach you how to use the metaphysical power of crystals. There's so many of us who love semi-precious stones and crystals. I'm one of them, and some examples are quartz, lapis lazuli, which is a beautiful blue stone, amethyst, tourmaline, and so on. So with this webinar, you're going to learn what makes crystals special carriers of energy. And you'll find out which crystals are good for healing, manifesting, protection, and intuition development. And we talk about how to discover your connection to higher wisdom and the angelic realms using these crystals. And in this webinar, we go over the metaphysical properties of the crystals and how to use the crystals to heal and develop your connection to that energy. And I think crystals are wonderful tools to learn about metaphysical energy, psychic energy, whatever you want to call it, and really learn how to connect to it. You're also going to learn how to meditate and resonate with the crystal's energy and other methods on how to work with them as metaphysical tools. And you're going to find out what the best stones are for you personally. I actually have an extensive background in metaphysical science, and as well as I am a crystal resonance therapist, and I've done a lot of energetic healing modalities. So I draw on that, my science background, to share with you the science and the metaphysical science behind crystals. So if you're interested in partaking in this webinar, which it's now available online, it's normally $79. It's now at a great price, only for a short time, only for $24.95 or $25. So it's a great price. It's only going to be up there for a short while at that price. So sign up now. If you're interested, go to my website, lmk88.com/member, MEMBER. And my website's a great place to go too if you want to sign up for freebies on intuition, lmk88.com. And if you want the how to use the power of crystals, go to lmk88.com/member. And you can sign up there. So that's what I have for you guys. We're going to we have about 2 minutes left. But, I just turned to another page in your book, Kim, and it's called Let's Talk. And I love it because it relates to the radio show and why I love the radio show so much. And you can actually relate it to a lot of things. One of the things I was thinking about, I listen to Spotify every now and then, and they say, if you can't say it, if you can't express it, play a song for them, and that'll say it to them. Well, here you can write this down and share it with whoever you need to talk to. It says, let's face it, rather than run from it. Let's talk in ways we've never known, to become people we never knew, to have lives we never imagined. And, that's what the radio show does for me. I connect with great people like you, Kim, and it changes me. I learn so much. So thank you. Talking is important, would you say?
Oh, really, what is one of them? I say, are you of value? And the answer is yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. And that's in the book, too, that your existence is a voice.
And we share our words, right? We share our words through talking.
Talking and that, and we have that voice in our heads. And we receive others by receiving the words that they have to share.
Right. So we talk to ourselves, we talk to others, and do you believe we could affect other people through the words we use with them?
Oh yeah, I've even done in workshops. I do muscle testing or kinesiology. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what fascinated me, it's one thing when somebody says a word out loud, and then I can muscle test the other person as to whether it's a positive or negative, and they become weaker on something negative and positive on something, they become stronger, more congruent with something positive. What fascinated me is that all somebody had to do was think a negative word.
Oh, you don't even need to say it.
They didn't need to say it.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
And the other person became weaker, and then it was positive thought, and the other person became stronger.
I love that. Science right there. Well, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll finish up with Kim in our last quarter. So stay with us.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
The name is Bond. James Bond.
No, the name is Joe. The Joe Show. And we are returning back for our 9th season here on OMTimes Radio. So tune in every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on OMTimes.com/mobile. You can take us wherever you go. Yeah!
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTR-FM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Welcome back. I'm Lisa Kay, and you're listening to Between Heaven and Earth Radio. We've got a little funky weirdness in the background noise. At least I'm hearing it on my headset. I don't know if the listeners are hearing it, but we'll just have to press through. So, Kim, one of the things I wanted to do was go over how maybe a little example of how our listeners can use words to help themselves. I know we were talking about picking a word that has meaning. I use the word progress because I think it's more. It is giving myself a chance to see where it is I are. More of a touchstone. Where am I today? But also, when I do make progress, I feel better. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing things. And so, if we have a word like that, that's my word. What should we do with that word?
Well, what I would do is pick a word that really gets your whole, like when something happens and you go, oh yeah, you want to pick a word that really gets your whole body, your whole being involved in it. And then that's a vibration. Let's say you've got, well, do I do this? Does this fit where I want to go, or my vision? Does this align with my vision? Does that align with my vision? Which choice matches the feeling of that word for you? You can use it as a tool with which help you steer yourself down the path you really want to take. You can do that. Words, you can put different words around you. I actually did in different color, big capital letters. I love my life. And I made it, very rainbowy. And so I look at it and my vision and my nervous system goes, I love those colors, not just the words. And I have that up in several places in my home and in my office.
So again, it's like an affirmations with the right word, picking the right words and being, I guess that's the way affirmations are used. People print them out and they put them up, or they have them on their phones so that they can look at them and remind them of what it is that I guess the state of mind they want to be in.
Yeah, it's the state of mind to really create it right then. Let me see if I can remember. There's an affirmation, and affirmations, just observe. If you're just saying it, give yourself the whole imprint. So not only from your head, but feel it throughout your entire body, which will include your heart. And what came was, I am willing to change, to have my dreams, and love myself in the process.
I'm willing to change to have my dreams.
Have my dreams, and
I like that. Just that alone.
Yeah, and I added, because if I love myself in the process, then you know what? We just kind of fell down a lot when we were learning to walk. Mm-hmm. Anytime you're going into anything new, that's what happens. And I guess something else that I learned, especially with the head injury thing, is that I realized that if you've ever sewn, there's a basting stitch. And a basting stitch is designed to simply temporarily hold things together. And it does its job beautifully for that purpose. A back stitch, which is where you go forward, let's say 2 steps, and go back 1 step, and forward 2 steps and back 1 step. That's the strongest stitch there is in sewing. Oh, really? And healing progress in life is very much like a back stitch, rather than thinking, oh gosh, I must be doing something wrong, or I went backward, or what if it gave you a reframing and gave you a chance to really examine and clean up and reorganize even better. And in fact, that word, reorganize, there's much said in our language that we may not notice, is that it's known that how we think and the words that we speak shifts our chemistry. And really our body, literally, if you put hyphens in the word, reorganizes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that basically the word itself, organ.
Yes.
The body literally reorganizes to your thoughts with your words. what you say, what you receive, what you read, yeah.
Do you have some more affirmations you can share with us that our listeners could use? Maybe they should go get something to write with now, everybody.
Well, if I may, I'm going to give a couple tools. Just observe your language. I would take out the word try.
Oh, that's a good one. Take out the word try.
Take out the word try, because, as Yoda would say, it is do or do not do. There is no trying, right? That basically, when we say try, I find people do that when the result you're getting in the moment isn't matching the entire result that you want, but you're discounting what you've already just done. You're discounting the effort that you put through.
Yes.
If you ever try to pick up a pencil, you never pick it up. You can't. Otherwise, you've actually picked up the pencil.
Yes.
So I would remove the word try. In most cases, I would take out the word but, because it cancels everything before it, and see how it feels to put the word and in a lot of the time.
You gave me a good one, and this is more about when you're talking to someone, say maybe it's your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend, and you're not so crazy about some behavior they did, and instead of saying you make me feel so, you make me feel such and such, you say that's giving power away. Instead, say, I end up feeling this way when you do such and such.
Do this, right? When we say you make me feel this way, basically, I'm telling them and that they're responsible. What they does makes me feel that way, which means that they're in charge of how I feel, which is not really accurate. Yet a lot of us have been conditioned that way. If, however, I acknowledge what's actually accurate, because if 10 people were watching the same thing, each person's going to have a different experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's, when you do that and when you say that and when you say it that way, I end up feeling this. And hopefully the other person cares enough that they'll take a look at, how is it that they can say what they want to say in a way that works for the both of you. But also then that puts the power back in your pocket, because then you can go, okay, what are the scripts running in me that I can shift? So I'm not as much at the effect of someone or this person when they do that or say that.
So we don't. So it's very interesting. I thought that was just so powerful. So you don't want to say you make me feel blah blah, because and just thinking about it, because we all say that, or most of us, I would think, and it's usually with the. You make me feel this way. You're doing this to me, and then you're waiting for them to do something different.
Well, your joy and your happiness then is determined per how you've been conditioned, and that's kind of society we're shifting from at the moment. So, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just notice.
So it's like building a new way of doing things and looking at things.
Well, you actually build new wiring. You really do.
Yeah.
With words. And what I found is, rather than I'm not going to do that anymore, because then you're focusing on what you don't want to do. Well, what you focus on, you get more of, right?
So what should we say instead?
So if you really opt and choose and speak differently, it's like a path that doesn't get walked down a lot, eventually grows over. It doesn't exist anymore. Same thing with the brain.
Well, and I think that's what they say. The neuroscientists say that the pathways in the brain and the neurons actually do create new pathways and strengthen their signals, or at least facilitate the signals more when we use it more, just like a muscle. Yes, absolutely. Well, and in a sense, you can think of it. That's a beautiful way to think about it, because that's your conditioning. Yeah. Yes. Literally. So do you have another affirmation for us? Another affirmation. Yeah. Can you think of one? Let's see. It felt like something just occurred to you, actually. Did something just pop in for you? I just picked up your book. I am prayer. I am divinely whole and complete. That actually is a full affirmation.
That one, and what page is that on?
That's
again?
page 51.
Okay, because it.
Why don't you read it for us? We've got about a minute left. So
okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I am prayer. I am. I am divinely whole and complete. I am compassion, power, grace, and total well-being. I am love, authentically charged with fervor, integrity, presence, and clarity of action. I am a reflection of the innate unity, value, conscious choice, and connection of all things. I am. I am. I am all this and more. I am in all ways divine, in all divine ways, now and forevermore.
Oh, wow. I am in all ways divine, in all divine ways, right? I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. The play on the words, now and forevermore.
Yeah. I do a lot of wordplay. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. And there's something about, these words that are just so powerful. Kim, we're at the end of our show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. So you're welcome, and it's been a joy. And hello to everybody out there.
Yeah, please go to kimconrad.com. Get her book. It's amazing. You will be transformed. You've been listening to Between Heaven and Earth, Conscious Living for Your Soul. Tune in next time right here on OMTimes Radio. Angel blessings to everyone. Bye.